reasons you should never listen to this program, and I remain dismayed that you do, is that I'm uniquely capable of ruining even the most feel-goodest story anyone can conceive related to this franchise. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday if you're into football and or hockey. I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. Angels 4, Pirates 3 last night in Anaheim. The visitors narrowly missing out on what would have been their first sweep of the young season. 3-3 tie. Alas, became a 4-3 deficit when Zach Neto hit a solo home run off of Chase Shugart in the 8th inning. But along the way, O'Neal Cruz hit yet another leadoff home run, and if that doesn't start sparking serious conversation about what he's doing hitting leadoff at all, I'm not sure what will. And far, far more uplifting than that, Matt Gorski was recalled from AAA Indianapolis and homered in his first at-bat. He's 27. He'd been stuck at the top level of the minors for 4 seasons. And he did kind of have the look of somebody who was never going to make it all the way. But he did. And he arrived. And he sent Tyler Anderson out to left field 434 feet, getting his teammates to just go nuts. And then they rearranged that and gave him the silent treatment. And Paul Skeens looked more excited than anybody, including Gorski himself. This is what the young man had to say afterward about that moment.
It's cool. I've every level besides AAA, my first hit has been a homer. So that's something to take home, I guess. But that's how I've started, other levels before. So it's cool to start the major league level like that.
Okay, now what kind of a monster does it take to ruin or attempt to ruin a storyline like that? Well, if you're new to this program, you'll know that I seldom pass up any opportunity to point out that this organization can't do anything right when it comes to hitting. So yes, I'm going to seize upon this to point out that at a time, meaning year 6 of this front office being in place, of this baseball operations staff in general, overall being in place, that what they're doing at a time of literally desperate need for offense. And when I say desperate, I'm not even talking about this the team that's on the field. I'm talking about the management people themselves. Just plain and simple job preservation. When they should have hit a phase where hitters were bumping into hitters on the organizational depth chart. If you don't know what I mean by that, think of it this way. A whole bunch of really good promising hitters in Altoona, but they're blocked by all these really good, promising hitters in Indianapolis who also happen to be blocked by all these really good hitters, period, in Pittsburgh. None of that is in play. And that, respectfully, is how a Gorski earns, and he did earn it, a recall in the first place. To reiterate, this isn't a knock on him. He had a wonderful spring training for the Pirates. 4 bombs down there in Bradenton, and in his short stint in Indianapolis to open up this season, he's hitting 300, 3 more home runs, 7 doubles, 854 OPS, over 70 at-bats. There's no apology due here. There's no asterisk. One more time, he earned it. But you want to know who else is off to a fine offensive start in Indianapolis? Have you ever heard of Nick Solak? If not, let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Solak. He's hitting, and I kid you not, through 54 at-bats, 14 games, 370 with a 981 OPS, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 11 RBIs, and he's 30 years old. Old enough, apparently, to have figured out AAA pitching, old enough, in turn, to not be considered anybody's prospect. Liover Peguero is a much more familiar name to people who follow the team. He's now 24, and he's had some time in Pittsburgh. 211 at bats, batted .237, 280 on base percentage, 650 OPS. He's flashed some good things over time, in particular, some power, 7 home runs in those 211 at bats. But for a whole bunch of reasons, not least of which is that he has not played a consistent shortstop, meaning in the field. He's stuck there. There's a catcher named Abraham Gutierrez. He's 25. He's hitting .333. He's had 27 at-bats, and he's never been in the majors. And remember Nick York and Billy Cook? Those were the two guys that were brought up, well, actually acquired in the 2024 season in what were seen as being, significant young guy for young guy trades. And one of those trades sent Quinn Priester, a former first-round pick, out the door. Neither of them is doing anything. York is at .220 with 1 home run. Cook is at .188, no home runs. And that's in 50 at-bats and 64 at-bats, respectively. This is year 6. I should title every episode of this program, "This is year 6, at least until it becomes year 7. There's nothing down there in year 6. Not offensively, anyway. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragechek.org. That's gunstoragechek.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Time now for today's J1Q, and it comes from Bill, who says, DK, I look at Derek Shelton when he has some huge smile on his face in the dugout, and it makes me sick. I am so conflicted. I want the Pirates to be good and competitive, but I also want them to lose so that we can be rid of Shelton and Ben Cherington. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, Bill, and it's something that I hear from people a lot, and I get it. I get it completely. It feels like there have been multiple iterations of this same storyline going back a very, very long time, unfortunately, with this franchise, where it almost feels like half of everybody's tenure in running the Pirates is the half where you just wish they would go away. As always, I don't advise anybody on how to react, how to think, how to feel. But I will say this. If you step back from the whole situation, step back from this road trip, step back from this start to this season, step back from everything except the full tenure of this front office that began in late 2019, and ask yourself if you can envision, try to keep an open mind on this, if you can envision a scenario in which you say, yeah, these are the right guys. These are the ones. I can actually picture in my head, this is hypothetical, obviously, these guys just showing everybody that they were right, that they just nailed it all, and we were fools for not having seen it beforehand. Ask yourself if that's something that your brain can process without the assistance of significant druggery. Then from there, ask yourself if druggery is even a word, or if it's something I just came up with because I've run out of words when it comes to this conversation. Speaking only for myself here, Bill, I reached that point last season. I reached the point of crossing over and no longer being able to see that. The way the team started the 2024 season, the little bit of an extra something-ish swagger with which Shelton carried himself in particular, you can never tell with Cherington whether they're winning or losing or whatever. I allowed myself to see it, but I just don't. I don't. There's just so little in the way of, and never mind the visible lack of passion and other things that we commonly bring up. Just look at the team. Look at the team that they've put together after 5+ years. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll be back with another one of these on Monday.